word from FanDuel. You guys know I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the summer continues on, we get fewer and fewer games, and the sports just aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right, there's something for everyone every day all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com/UCSS and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball and the ultimate Cleveland sports show. Guys, it took all of, and I am being serious, 14 seconds into Kevin Stefanski's opening press conference for him to answer the question we had all been waiting for. We talked at length this summer and the spring and the winter and during last season about who will call plays for the Cleveland Browns in 2024. Jason Lloyd and Jay Crawford on this very program called it the worst kept secret in football that it would be Ken Dorsey. And before Kevin Stefanski had a chance to answer a question about who would call plays for the Browns this upcoming season, he cleared the air by himself. Let's take a listen to Coach on who will call plays for the Browns this season.
Tony, you can tell everybody I'm going to call the plays this year, so I want to get that out of the way. I know everybody's interested. And any decision I make for our football team, I take a lot of information in. I try to listen to a lot of people and make decisions. And ultimately, what I feel really, really confident in is our offensive staff. I feel really strongly about Coach Dorsey and the entire offensive staff. So we'll continue to be an operation that works together. It's never been a one-man show, so I just want to make sure that was, I know Tony was going to ask, so I want to get it out there before then.
So G. Bush, Kevin Stefanski will be calling the plays in 2024. A change of thinking from how we've been looking at this throughout the summer. What say you about Kevin Stefanski deciding to hold on to the play calling duties for this upcoming season?
Well, fellas, here goes 6 months of content for your boy G. Bush. I owe this man, I owe multiple payments. Shout out to Quincy. I will pay you your little stanky little $20. I'll pay it to you. But Kevin Stefanski, listen, that was a soft flex. That's what happens like when you get that raise at work and you get that long-term security. You come right in the training camp and kick the door and bow. Hey, Tony, I'm calling plays, buddy. Wow. You tell us how you feel. Like he really was like, just for all that you guys want to know, I heard you all off season. Listen, when you get that backing, they get that contract. He was like, you know what? I was about to let you call some plays, but you was acting up all weekend. You're not going over your friend's house. I'm calling the plays now. I just think like he's going to take, and it's crazy because Ken Dorsey is like, I done cooked up this playbook. I done cooked up all these juicy plays. I done heard Njoku. I done heard Deshaun talking about how great this new package is. Pause. But then the crazy part about it is you just gave it all to Kevin Stefanski. And he like, yeah, thanks for all that homework, buddy. I'm going to be calling these plays. Tyvis, come on, man. Like,
you know what, G? First of all, you just came off of one of the best seasons that you've had as the Cleveland Browns head coach calling the plays. Why would I want to I'm hot right now. Why would I give it up? Like, I'm hot. The team is rolling right now. I do think that we really do read too much into who actually says in the mic what the play is. I think that part is way overblown. Like, obviously, Ken Dorsey's coming in here to help Kevin's offense to get more shotgun, to be more explosive and things like that. The preparation of it is the part that matters the most. When you put out the sheet, like, all right, on 3rd and 10, these is the plays that we can call on 3rd and 10. Yeah. Or if it's 2nd and 7, these is the 2nd and 7 play. Like, that is the most important part of it all. The just picking a play, that's not really a lot that goes into it. Obviously, it's very simple. You just look at it and be like, okay, they're in 2nd and 7. They're usually a cover 1 team, so they probably going to run cover 1 in 2nd and 7. So let's call this play right here because it's perfect for cover 1. Like, that's all it really is.
Well, let me ask you
I don't know why we really read that much into it all.
So here's what I want you to do. Next time you're online and you're playing the game, I need you to go and you pick a certain amount of plays. You give your daughter 5 plays to pick from, right? And then she picked the play for you.
Okay.
And then you run it.
Okay.
You good with that?
Yeah.
He's capping. Earl.
Why would I be? What's wrong with that?
Because when you pick it's a rhythm to picking plays.
Oh.
It is. You don't.
Well, guess who? It's only one person that's gonna have that rhythm.
I know.
So what are you talking about?
I know. Ken Dorsey. I'm sorry. Listen, this is crazy. You about to go with you? You're going to help pick the groceries out. Some of them, and he going.
But you know what? Go ahead. I'll talk about it.
I think for me, it just shows sometimes how much we like over speculate or how much we jump to our own conclusions sometimes, right? At the end of last year, when it came out that the Browns was making sweeping changes on the offensive coaching staff, the first thing I thought was, damn, okay, like Kevin Stefanski is going to give up the play calling, right? And then when you hear about how hands-on Ken Dorsey is and everything like that, it's like, okay, this is looking more and more like Ken Dorsey is going to be the Browns play caller. But Kevin Stefanski said something during this press conference yesterday that made a lot of sense. Well, all the turnover with the coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball, you know, it made sense to keep some sense of stability. And that was part of the reason why, you know, he decided to still be the play caller. I think it's a good call. You know, Kevin Stefanski is a damn good coach, is a damn good play caller. He's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but no coach is. And then furthermore, if you're somebody that's really, really looking at, okay, it should be Ken Dorsey, just think about it like this. If you gave that to Ken Dorsey right now and Ken Dorsey failed, I just feel like it's easier to give it to him down the road versus to take it from him down the road.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was nice. I like how you flipped that. I like that.
I like that as well. I mean, listen. Let's call a spade a spade. Ken Dorsey got fired last time he was the play caller, and that was just last season. Okay. And it's now you're with a whole group of different guys that you got to get to know and whatnot. So season is upon us. You got 1 month to try to figure out who these guys are. And, you know, coming off of a season where you just got fired, like it's like, yeah, you know what? Let me do it. You know, let me show you how we do things a little bit. And when you get comfortable and, you know, you start making some suggestions, because I'm sure Ken will be in Kevin's ear and he'll say, you know, what you got on this play? What you think, Ken? Kevin will be like, what you think, Ken? And Ken will say something. He'll say a play. And Kevin might go, you know what? Let's try that. And if he continues to do that and it's a ton of success, I can see Kevin later on being like, you know what? You got it this game, bro. Go ahead. I'm going to step back and you got it this game.
So I see what y'all did right there. I kind of like that. That was a nice move. It was a soft pivot. When you look at Ken Dorsey, right, he did get let go of his last job. It is easier to, I guess, come to Ken Dorsey and say, hey, we're gonna ramp you up a little bit, give you some more progressive, decision makings when it comes to these plays, rather than say, okay, you calling all the plays, and it's one of the most highest stakes seasons of all time. Deshaun Watson has to look good. He cannot look bad. He can't afford, like, you ever say, hey, this company is too big to fail. Deshaun Watson's season is too important for him to even look a certain way.
This season is infallible.
Yeah,
meaning it cannot fail.
You got to look good and we got to win. So Kevin Stefanski, like, knowing this, because there's a lot of people still looking for that blood in the water. They like, no, listen, here's what we're going to do. If I need to go back to 3 tight ends and play action till they get right, we're going to do that. Like,
my back pocket.
Right? That's what we're going to do. So I like that. My question to you guys is, do you believe, I'm trying to think in that case, what was the reason for the change? If Stefanski's going to call the plays, right?
Oh, that's easy.
Was it just they wanted new thoughts and new ideas?
Yeah, they needed a new. Obviously, I think it ran its course. It was a thing that, you know, they came together. Him and AVP came together every week, and the offense was only going so far. You know, it was only going to look so good. It's never. I don't know under Kevin's tenure. I don't know if our offense ever been like a top 10 offense or not.
It's funny that
in terms of what types, I'll look it up. But in terms of
just overall
yards,
total offense.
Yeah, total
I'll look
offense.
it up. Give me a sec.
It's funny he said that because when you look at it, like if you just ran an eye test, right, the offense was effective it just never seemed like it was overly impactful.
Like
it didn't,
not explosive.
Like it wasn't explosive. It didn't have a high impact on it. Sure, it got the job done.
Yeah.
But it was almost like one of those, like, you know, you passing with a C, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, you passed, but you barely passed type thing.
Yeah, you know, so
Well, they didn't have the Johns and the Joes
Yeah.
for that, too.
I always thought it was, to be truthful, if you looked at all the tea leaves, I thought it was always going to be an oxymoron when you were the coach of the year and you called the plays since you've been here, but then you just won coach of the year, and then so now you got to get the plays over. I just always thought that was crazy. Like, it was this thing that was a give and take in my spirit. Like, come on, like how would I take that? Like, what I'm good at is the reason that got me this position, got me this trophy.
But is it, when our team don't do well, is it always to y'all because of the offense?
Can't say that in the playoffs.
When D'Amico Ryans was talking on the sideline, was like, hey,
On this play,
stand right there. I already know it. I said, there's no way, and what?
But that's a former player.
I mean,
though,
back to back pick sixes, that's on the offense. I think in the playoffs, that was a collective loss. I think at times when the Browns don't do well, it varies from game to game and situation to situation. I mean, he said it himself. Ken Dorsey is going to work collectively throughout the week and come up with the game plan throughout the week.
Yeah,
and so just to your point, as somebody that's been on the field in these situations, maybe we do overhype and overblow, you know, who's calling the plays. But, you know, when you talk about coming off the second coach of the year and you know, how last season transpired, and go back to my original point, I just think, like, when we heard the information we heard at the end of last season, we just automatically jumped to conclusions. We automatically assumed that this was coming from over his head, that he wasn't the one who wanted to make these changes, etc. And so I think I look at this now that, you know, maybe Kevin has more juice within this organization than we originally gave him credit for. Because the fact that he's still, you know, calling the plays, and he came right out and said it. Nobody asked him that. You know, he let it be known.
He knew where they
it was coming.
Come back, kick
First question that was going to
But
get
think about it though. And so, it just hit different when you the one who set the tone. Like when you the one who set the tone, like, okay, this is what it is. This is what it's gonna be. It to me, it seemed like a soft flex that, like, whatever y'all thought in the media and in the fan base about, you know, it's just going to show how much y'all don't know.
What I will say, what I liked about it, what gave me some sort of, I don't know why I felt like comfortable with this. I don't know, maybe this is controversial, but in that interview, I watched the whole interview, and he said something that really sparked my interest. He said, well, you know, me and Ken Dorsey, we go back and forth. Like, we're very similar in some ways, but we're very on opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to offensive philosophy. So he gives me pushback. Like, we have pushback all the time in the meeting room about different concepts and different things. And he's like, you know, that makes me a better coach. There's a lot of different philosophies in here from college, you know, because they got Tommy Reese in here. They got Dorsey. There's a lot of college concepts that they're trying to, you know, incorporate into the offense. And I thought that was really cool because this ain't just no, like, you know, when you get a situation where him and AVP been working together that long, sometimes when you got colleagues you comfortable with, sometimes you get into a little comfortable rut where you guys think the same. And sometimes thinking the same ain't the best way. Sometimes you need somebody to push you and say, have you thought about this way, right? To eventually improve your game and get to another level.
I read this, I think, shortly after we hired Ken Dorsey, and it's funny that you brought up that point. If you look at the personalities of Ken Dorsey and Kevin Stefanski, you know, Kevin has this cool, calm demeanor. We've seen the videos of, like, Ken Dorsey can get a little fiery. The funny thing about that is, when it comes to the play calling, they're totally different. Kevin is very aggressive. Ken is not the, I'm going to go for it on fourth down. It's 4-for-1. Let's send a field goal unit out there and let's take the 3 points. And so I just think, like, when you even think about that part of it, you know, as fans, we got to be careful what we ask for, because we love the aggression when it works. Of course, we hate it when we don't, but do you really, really want to deal with somebody that's more conservative as a play caller, or somebody that's willing to push the chips in a little bit more? like a guy like Kevin Stefanski.
I just don't want to see Ken in the box. Shit.
Hey, boy, when he broke that,
so high.
he broke that. It was a clipboard or a tablet, boy. I was like, dang, bro.
Man, I forgot what happened on the play, but he was high.
Josh Allen tried extending the play and ended up turning the ball over, and he was mad he didn't just throw it out of bounds, which is the beauty and the curse of Josh Allen. Tyvis, you asked how the Browns have fared in yards per game under Kevin Stefanski. 16th, 18th, 14th, and 16th in their 4 seasons.
Middle of the pack.
Middle of the pack, they have yet to have a full season of stellar quarterback play.
Yeah, they ain't
teams
got no
that finish top of the league in yards per game are all the teams with the best quarterbacks. There's no surprise there. They're able to throw the ball around. Before we move on to the next thing that Stefanski says, I want to put a bow on the play calling conversation. After the Seattle game last year, when they decided to throw the ball and it got picked off with P.J. Walker, Seattle comes down and scores. We ran a poll. Should Stefanski give up play calling duties, right? And 90% said yes. And fast forward to today where we've put a poll in the chat. Are you happy or upset with Stefanski's decision to keep the play calling duties? The answer was yes, right call to keep it, or no, he should have given it to Dorsey. After the game against Seattle, 90% of our YouTube chat said he should give up play calling. Today, after 15 minutes up on the poll, multiple hundreds of votes, 75% said yes, it is the right call for Stefanski to keep the play calling duties.
Mike, I'll just say this. As a lifelong Browns fan, we are very emotional. So asking us 15 minutes after the Browns just like gave the game away, should Stefanski give up the play calling, it's not outside the realm of expectation that we're going to vote yes. Like, we are.
I said no.
I feel like we are the best fan base because of how, like, emotionally intense we is. Like, we don't play that at all.
That's why the
we
chat.
don't play that.
That's why the chat love me. I'm the Duke of Knee Jerk, and those are my loyal subjects. They move around all over the place. Like,
You wanted him to give up play call?
at that point, listen, from minute to minute during the game, I can say anything.
Yeah, you can. Like I said when that play happened, Jamal Adams made a freak play. He made a big time play. Like, I don't understand why y'all like.
I told Mike something
that.
different. You ain't gonna like this though, right? So we would do the post game shows and we would react emotionally, and then Mike would break down the all 22 film the next day, upstairs getting ready for the show. And after that particular game, the conclusion I drew was it was PJ fault. It wasn't
that game. It was the Indy game.
Okay,
Indy game.
well, whatever game, it was PJ fault. When you go back to certain situations that's like crucial plays or crucial moments throughout the game, right? And he called some of these plays, the Indy game, the Seattle game, and it went left. Like, when P.J. Walker comes out and tell the whole world the only person I'm looking for is Amari Cooper, well, I mean, how is that on Kevin Stefanski when you got Jerome Ford standing right there at the first down hash wide open?
I will say this so we can move on. There are certain times where when you see it's P.J. Walker in the game, every coach knows there's limitations to certain players. You can't dial up certain calls for everybody.
We gonna stop.
Everybody can't get stuff dialed up for.
But if it's more than one person open and he tell you all I see is number 2.
Hey, listen, where that camera at? Which one is it? Listen.
Camera 2 like Amari.
I never said Phillip was perfect. The problem is y'all think Phillip is perfect. He has mistakes. He makes flaws. He has flaws. Listen, when in doubt, and y'all are hypocrites for sitting here saying this. When in doubt, last year on this team, when you gotta have it, who you looking for? Stop it! Y'all need to stop. Y'all did the same thing.
Mike, can you check
I don't
this?
blame me. Y'all all didn't play high school or backyard football, and you know what? The dude could be quadruple covered. That's my dude. I'm going to him. That's exactly what he did.
What's up, bro?
We won the game against San Francisco without P.J. Walker completing the pass on that final drive. Is that accurate?
Yeah, he was 0 for 5 on the final drive.
What you talking about? Is
Mike
irrelevant.
Hey, Mike, that was cold right there.
That's irrelevant.
Last thing on the play call, we're going to move on and talk a little bit about the injuries on the defensive side of the ball. Kevin Stefanski earned the opportunity to get a head coaching position by being a play caller in Minnesota and showing his prowess as a play caller. He's won 2 Coach of the Year awards in Cleveland calling the plays. To me, it never made sense for him to end up giving up that responsibility. And frankly, although I thought it was going to go to Dorsey, that's what all the tea leaves were telling us, I'm glad that he's going to have the opportunity to show what he can do with new weapons on this offense, with a hopefully healthy Deshaun Watson, and see what we can execute out of this. All right, guys.